Hi. Okay. I want to quickly go over the 12 tribes. Um, this is not understood by the Western culture. In the scripture, they talk about the 12 tribes of Israel. There are 12 astrological signs and 12 tribes. That is, the 12 tribes were the astrological signs. That's how it works. Now, although our bodies and our equipment that is in the image of God, created by God, for God, with God, because that makes us God, just ride around in his bodies, which is kind of nice. It's a unity, corporation, spirit, But here's the deal. All 12 signs have specific qualities and some not so qualities. Every sign's got something. It's got good and bad. So, I'm going to go through them really quickly so that you can get an idea about what I'm talking about. Let's start with the Gemini. That's what I am. A Gemini, when he's trying to explain himself, he's got two personalities that are all the time talking all the time. We have more communication skills inside our own head than anybody can ever imagine, and it happens all the time. We think that other people might have the same thing, but they don't. But anyway, whatever those souls inside me are, the two hemispheres of my brain, one's Gem, and the other one is I. It's Gemini. It's just kind of the idea. Also, we're the only ones that admit that we're male and females inside us all. We're all male and female twins. Took a mom and dad to make us. Cancers. People they call Cancer. Their sign is I can sign. I cancer, not nothing to do with the disease. And they literally take things to the 9th degree every single time to figure it out. That's their skill. They're also considered like the Brahma bull. Very strong people. And good examples of what we can do, be positive. Leo the lion. They like everything in the direct approach. They like to think that they're king of the jungles. They've got an animalistic approach or a style inside them that, it's like that lion on Wizard of Oz, Let me at him, please. Let me at him. I'll get him. Yeah, they're generally pretty good people. The most notable one would be Napoleon Bonaparte as a Leo. So they're very powerful people. Okay, August, September is Virgo. Virgos are testing and evaluating everything all the time. That's what they do. They're excellent in asking questions and being persistent in what they believe in. They're very excellent in that. The name Virgo means that while they're testing you, you don't know you're being tested. And if you veer, they go. Virgo. October brings in the Librarians and the people that do recognize that they've got two sides of the body. They do like to be balanced. They show them as scales. But they have a real hard time with emotions. So don't expect a Libra because emotions really mess them up. But they're good people. But they have very, very little emotions. Very little. Scorpio. Scoring all the peons. They are scorers of anything. They are something else. Luckily, a Scorpio has to go around the world 220 times or 220 years before they get fully enlightened, because they are so strong that they would, in fact, dominate the entire planet. Scorpios. They make great lovers, the best lovers, and also the best warriors. That brings us to Sagittarius. When things get saggy, they get gregarious. They have a great sense of humor, and they try and keep a smile on everybody's face. They are half horse. He's a man, half horsing around, shooting sarcastic arrows in the sky. That's a Sagittarius. When things get saggy, they get gregarious. That's their tribe. Next, we come to the Captain of Scorn. This group of people absolutely hates anyone scorning anyone that isn't there to defend themselves, and they're feelers, so they feel other people, and they try and defend those feelings, and sometimes they get them into trouble. Richard Nixon was a Capricorn. Tricky dick. Then you have February, the water bearers. These people don't ever tip over their bucket of water, or they'll get very, very angry and can lose control. But they are good bargain hunters, good people, and if they don't get emotionally involved, they're very equal, balanced. Next we have Pisces, and everything's in pieces, and they have the skill of seeing everything in pieces, and it's up to us to think about everything we do as a Pisces would, in pieces. And if you can do that, then you become more and more mindful and more in line with what God wants for us. Then we have the Aries. They're the only astrological sign that has 3 plans of action going inside their mind at all times, and they're the only ones that admit that they made errors. It's not Aries, it's errors. And the Aries is the only astrological tribe that has 3 plans of action going off inside their heads all the time. We need to learn that. Plan A, Plan B, or Plan C. Plan C doesn't work, go back to A, B, and C again. Just keep revolving into your plans, and it will work out. Then we have Taurus. Never push anything down a Taurus throat. Always lead them toward it. If you lead them toward it, they will then respond and make it their own. They really are good people. But they also have a little shady side, like everyone, so be careful. But Taurus people need to be respected, and that's like anybody, really. And then we come back to Gemini, which is me. So those are the 12 tribes, the 12 astrological signs, and in general, those are the traits that they have. Now, there's 144 variations inside each of these 12 tribes, or 12 astrological signs. So these variations are all designed by God. They have nothing to do with you or me. We can just recognize what our faults or our strengths are and then work towards them, and that's what makes us who we are for today and tomorrow. All right, well, this is John Paul Elliott. I'm glad that you listened to this. Do me a favor, buy my book, Love is My Religion, on Amazon. And I've got a bunch of other stuff coming. That's really important stuff. And, if you haven't heard anything about who and what we are like this before, be my guest. Get my book, find out more. Thank you so much. John Paul Elliott III on Amazon.